This is regarding Nick Fuentes. He's very religious. What do you personally actually have against him? I'm honestly curious. Well, that he plays like that he's about faith and God. And yes, he's religious. He's your traditional Catholic. I don't want to say all men have this attitude, but this is a result of the Roman Empire Catholic Church. It's a result of organized religion, and organized religion believing that they know best what moral looks like, and they don't. I mean, but Charlie Kirk was like this too. Charlie Kirk just made it look a little prettier, let's say, where Nick Fuentes is just out there. But they were the same. They were, when it came to women. And I think that most of them, these men, are closeted homosexuals. Even the ones in the church. Look at Doug Wilson. This is this Christian nationalist idea. And they are not the people that even are close to understanding God. They're very much, all of them are very much about the Old Testament God, and Paul, because that's where this idea comes that women should submit to man because of Paul. But that's going to be used as a stumbling block for all of them. Just like Jesus being nailed to a tree was a stumbling block for the Jews. That's what that means in there. It's going to be used as a stumbling block because it's very simple. What I really get annoyed with is the people that act like that religion is part of the problem, the organized religion. The Catholic Church has never known God. They haven't. They were always used to keep women oppressed. Why? Because they want their kingdom. They don't want God's kingdom. It's not hard to put together here. If man is going to continue to see women as they should be, because here, let's just start here with some of the statements that Nick Fuentes has said about women. He has stated that women should not have the right to vote, and he has discussed restricting property owning rights to men only. He describes women as very difficult to be around, annoying, prone to gaining weight and talking too much, while advising men to marry them despite these flaws. In 2024, he posted, quote, "Your body, my choice forever," end quote. There's no, in every one of those statements that doesn't show somebody that knows God, isn't interested in knowing Jesus Christ, but is interested in using God to promote that they know what morality looks like, and they don't. Doug Wilson is like that. I mean, Doug Wilson literally had said in an interview, and he's one of those Christian nationalist pastors, that said women are something that people come out of. These are not moral men. These are men that God will come against. God will come against the Catholic Church because of this. He will. And it's really very simple. God's goal is always trying to get the people, that can make it, back into the Garden of Paradise, okay? Because back into full union with Him. If you're telling women to submit to man, submit to their husband, then what you're doing is you're taking on God's role. But that's what I see all these men do. Because they want their kingdom. See, I'm sick of their kingdom. I'm sick of the kingdom. But man has not wanted God's kingdom, not from the beginning. I mean, there's a reason that God said after the original fall, the one he really punished was Adam, because he knew man would curse the earth, which is what he said he would do. You will go on to curse the earth. Yet they all run around and say it was Eve, and it was. But why did Adam get the bigger punishment? Because they have gone on to curse the earth. The reason women have more sensitivity and have more empathy is because of the oppression that man has kept women under for 7,000 years. And I'm a conservative saying this, okay? So even though the women's rights movement became out of its mind in the last, I don't know, 10 years, likely because it was infiltrated by trans women who are men, what it was in the beginning was something God supported, because he was, Jesus himself was beginning the women's movement, because he raised women up to equal status, and that makes sense. To come into union with God, each has to be equal. I understand that there's a difference in physical strength, in the way the body looks, and physical strength. I understand that. I think we all can. Anybody that has logic knows that. But otherwise, all equal. Yet these people hate women, and it's disgusting. They have an issue. So they shouldn't be the people setting the moral standard, because they don't have any moral standard in themselves. So the way that you keep everybody under the cursed kingdom that man's created is you have to continually keep women down. Can you understand how that's how you keep, because the goal is they don't want to do God's will. Doug Wilson isn't about God's will. Neither was Charlie Kirk. Neither is Nick Fuentes. None of these people. They don't know God. They're only interested in keeping their kingdom. And they know that in order to keep our kingdom, to keep our free will going, the best thing to do is to push women down. That's what it is. I mean, Fuentes, his views are linked to his traditional Catholic interpretations, arguing biblical authority excludes women from leadership roles like priests or voters. He has advocated for a male-only governance, excluding women. Look at the Catholic Church. They've always been that way, because they want their kingdom. They want to act like that they represent God, and God knows that they don't. And see, I'm somebody that has sought him, truly has sought him, because he keeps me sober for 30-something years, okay? So when you truly are seeking him and not just trying to push some political agenda of keeping man's ugly kingdom going, and you're somebody that truly seeks the shepherd, then he tells you, no, he's going to use this thing they've all run with, that Paul said women should submit to their husbands. No, Jesus showed not to do that. Jesus came so women would submit to God, which is why Jesus had more followers that were women. Because God cannot bring, not that he can't, he eventually will come against all of them. But he's trying to get man to realize, no, women is not over men, and men are not over women. You cannot have Eden back. You are still cursing the ground with this mindset. But they want their kingdom. So that's truly what I have against him, is that he's full of shit. It's one thing to have these views. Fine, have these views. Have these views, and look at how many people push him out there. In fact, now some channel on YouTube is doing a whole 10-hour series on him. Yeah, because this world, because the adversary one calls the shots, that's what they will push out, just like they pushed Charlie Kirk out there. And who on both sides, on the left and the right, is attacking women? They both are. Because you have the trans women who are men that go into, sporting events and beating up women, and then you have the Nick Funteses that want to hurt women and want to say, I'm going to have authority over your body autonomy. There's a lot to have against him. He is an ugly soul. And yet he uses God. He doesn't know God, he uses God. And so for somebody that truly, here's the thing. If God really felt that that's the way he wanted it, I may not like it, but I would be like, okay, God, what I want to do is make sure I do your will, God. That's what's important to me. So even if it's something I don't like, I'll accept it. But God has given me that, no, I will use this as a stumbling block, because Jesus never said that women couldn't receive the Holy Spirit. He made it clear that all can, which means then you should realize equal. that I don't want woman submitting to man, and I will use what Paul said as a stumbling block for the Gentiles, the same way Jesus was a stumbling block for Jews.